Hello, my name's Sam Letourneau and I'm the Director of Instruction here at Golf Tech Australia. Today I want to talk to you about fat shots, okay? Now, fat shots are, a nickname for a contact where the golf club comes into the ground behind the golf ball. So I hit the ground and then I hit the ball. Now what happens is I lose a lot of distance when I have that sort of contact, okay? There's two ways that you can hit a fat shot, okay? You can hit what we call a steep fat shot, and that is simply the golf club coming too steeply down into the ground. And if I just catch the ball a little bit behind the ball, the club plows into the ground and I've got a fat shot. The other way you can hit a fat shot, and of course there can be combinations of these, is you can have the low point of your golf swing occur behind the golf ball, you see. Now, we're going to look at that one in just a moment, but let's look at the steep one first, because that is a very common cause of the fat shot. Why do people get that golf club coming steeply down into the ground? Well, there's a few reasons. We'll put them all together in one reason here, right? They often do this. When people slice the golf ball, okay, they see that ball going off to the right, and they start to think instinctively, I've got to get it going over to the left. So the reaction, it's such a reaction game, this game, is they start to set up with what we call a high right side and the shoulders off to the left, and from down the line they'll look like this. From face on they'll look like this. Can you see I've got my spine angled? There's a little bit of exaggeration for the point of illustration, but not too much with a lot of golfers we see, quite honestly. That attitude there, I've got the right shoulder higher than the left almost and angled this way. Now, coupled with that, they've been told, well, golf, that's that game. You've got to keep your head down, isn't it? So they've got themselves hunched over. They're trying to keep that head down. And now with the eyes very horizontal to the ground like that, it sees a very pendulum-like action of the swing, which would be too upright, you see. I'm hunched over, I'm open like that with the shoulders, right shoulder's high, and now I'm going to tilt turn and the arms go straight up in the air. Now I've got the swing too much up and down. Of course, I need an up and down element in this game. The ball is on the ground, and I need an around element because the ball's off to the side of me. If one part gets too dominant, in this case the up and down, I've hunched over too much, my shoulders are turning in too tilted a fashion, and the arms are swinging straight up, the club's going to go straight up in the air and then come down too steeply. I'll hit the steep shot. Okay? You could hear the clunk into the mat. It didn't feel good. I hated the vibration that I got up through the hands. You see the outside in swing path, and the ball only went 29 metres, you see. It was a glancing downwards across ball, and all the energy went into the ground. Now, how do I stop the steep fat shot? Well, what I've got to do is this. I've got to change my address position. I've got to have just a little bit of tilt forwards only with a fairly straight back, you see. When viewed from face on, I've got to have a little bit of spine angle to the right. That's going to help shallow out my turn and help me make a little bit more rounded motion. As I set up to the golf ball, standing a little bit taller, with a little bit of tilt to the right, now my shoulders turn rather than tilt, and I have a more rounded golf swing, a little bit flatter. This has the club coming around from the inside, shallow and level into the back of the golf ball. Let's hit one with that setup. I'm going to stand up a bit taller. I've got a little bit of tilt to the right. My shoulders turn more level. And voila. The simulator doesn't pick it up because, silly instructor, I wasn't hitting it from the right place. I was out of the hot spot. Let's try it again. You know what? It was a great swing. It felt really good. The contact felt good. Let's try it again. Here I am. Ball positioned correctly for the simulator. I'm standing up taller. I turn my shoulders flatter, and I'm into the back of the golf ball. The shot, which went 29 metres, same swing speed, goes 150 with my 6-iron. I'm pretty happy with that. It was a different sound, wasn't it? The path of the golf swing was different. It was from the inside. When the path is from the inside, because the swing is shallower and more rounded, the club comes more level into the back of the golf ball, and I get away from the steep fat shot. It's good. We've cured that. Let's have a look at the other cause of the fat shot, which is the bottom of the golf swing occurring behind the golf ball. I might not be coming in too steep, but I'm just catching the ground behind the golf ball. Now, the reason for that is, if you see me from face on there, watch when I make a swing, I'm going to contact the ground beyond the golf ball. That's the correct contact. I want to hit the ball and then have the low point of my swing occur. Now, what we see with so many people is this. They either tilt too much to the right of the dress, you see, and you can see how my sternum is now back here. I'm going to make a backswing, and when I come in, that's where the low point of my swing is going to be, unless I make a compensation. Maybe they start fairly level with just a tiny bit of angle to the right, which would be correct, but then they make a backswing, they sway over to the right with their upper body. Same result, the fat shot. Sometimes people start looking pretty good here. They move the whole body to the right and fail to get back. I then have that same situation. So I'll hit one, not as easy for you to see from down the line there, but I'm going to move off to the right as I make a backswing. The bottom of my golf swing is also moved off to the right. If I don't get back, I'm going to hit the ground behind the ball. Okay? Didn't feel great. I didn't get my full distance, okay? And the contact really wasn't that good. When I start to feel like I stay centered on my backswing as I turn and then shift forward, can you see that lateral push as I move into the left side, and now I've got the hands ahead of the golf ball and I'll get a correct impact. I'm going to stay centered. That's me walking through the simulator and setting it off. I'm going to stay centered on my backswing, and I'm going to move forward on my downswing. Here we go. Centered and forward. Okay? All of a sudden, I get the back of the golf ball first, and then I get the turf, and I get more or less my full distance again. Okay? The steep fat shot, the fat shot where the bottom of your swing occurs behind the golf ball. Now, that's two causes. That's a good diagnosis. It's a good analysis, correction, and cure. You don't have to do that yourself. If you're in Melbourne, you can drop into Golf Tech. We'll provide the correct analysis, the correct diagnosis, and the correct cure for you. If you're not in Melbourne, you can still jump on our website. You can go to the online lessons page, send in video of your swing from down the line and face on. Our instructors will look at it. They'll give you all that analysis with voiceover, and they'll send it back to you with the right way to fix your golf swing. I hope you've got something out of that.